How are you doing today? I am Catherine, and I am doing great. I would just like to share with you some activities that we have scheduled in our Woodlawn area. I would like to share with you that tomorrow at the weekend, sponsored by Weekend, we're having a play street. It starts Tuesday, which will be August the 30th, from 2 to 7 p.m. at the corner of 65th and Stony to Blackstone. We're giving out things. We're giving out school bags, school supplies. We are having special events going on to celebrate getting ready to get back to school. So please come out. It's a community event. Please come out and support us and bring your young people. We also have Weekend Robotics Center that's open for all ages. It's at the corner of 65th and Stony. The telephone number for more information is 773-288-300. Okay? And those are just some of the activities that's in the Woodlawn area. I know Woodlawn has a historical positive resources in the neighborhood for the community. It's a beautiful village where young people, parents, and organizations and businesses are working together to help our community be a better place to live. And I'm just so grateful. It's just not in that area, but it's all over. But I have a special love for Woodlawn. I also like to share with you just a sad story. We are still dealing with violence in our community. It is so sad, and I know parents in our community, we're looking at what can we do to address the violence in our community. You know, just a couple weeks ago at the YWCA, Dwayne Wade was there with some other athletes around the country, and it was sponsored by ESPN, and they were getting together to address the issue of violence in our community. You families, community, we all need each other. And they had this beautiful time together to address it. And he talked about, he's been doing it for a long time, addressing the issue of violence in our community. And that was really nice to have that in our community, for them to come together and to help us. But then, oh my goodness, then I found out just last week, his cousin was killed, Nakia Arridge, a mother of 4. She was enrolling her children in school, and she was shot. And unfortunately, she was shot and she was killed. You know, that happened in our community, and it was his cousin. And I know there's so many more young people that were killed in the city of Chicago, but we have to do something about this violence in our community. I mean, what can we do? And I'm so glad. I also found out too that there were 2 brothers that were arrested as a result of this young lady that was killed. A mother with 4 young children. First, I'd like to be able to just share my condolence with the family and all those that were involved. My prayers go out to you. Our community cares about what happens, and we have to do something right now. But one thing about it that was very positive, that the community came together and they were not silenced. They actually told what had happened, what they saw. So that's great, because we cannot afford to just sit back and then know there's some violence and some things are going on in our community and not tell it. We cannot be silenced anymore. We are a community that have to work together, a community that cares about our children, a community that understands that even though there are high risk factors in our community, but we as a community can be a village that work together. So, you know, my prayers go out to the family, but now what can we do? What can we do? Last week, we talked about getting our young people ready for school. You know, school starts September the 6th. And I know that some track schools have already started. And we talked about last week about school supplies. We talked about the importance of making sure that you check with your teachers. You find out who your teachers are. You find out who the social workers are in your school. You look at safe zones. You talk to your children about looking at ways to be able to communicate positively. And just so many things that we have to do as a parents and as a village. Now, maybe some of you might say, well, you know what? I don't have any kids. So guess what? But you live in a neighborhood. So guess what? We all have to make sure that our community is safe. We have to make sure that we understand where our resources may be. And you may never know. Maybe the neighbor next to your next door neighbor child might need a uniform. Well, our instructor, our executive director of We Can, I call Dr. Maddie Butler, stated that maybe if you have a uniform or some supplies or some things that you can help out, please contact us. Let us know. Because our community, our young people, they need help. And we're here to help. We're here to help one another. Okay? So if we need to contact someone, if you need some resources, parents, please call the We Can office. And organizations or businesses, if you know of maybe you might have some supplies, maybe you might know of a place in which you could be able to share. We need you, because it takes a village to raise a child. Listen, I was thinking today, what does it take to have a healthy community? What do you think it takes to have a healthy community? Well, part of it takes to have a healthy community, we need to identify our resources. What do I mean by resources? I mean, okay, we're talking about our young people. Like, for example, the program that we have right now. Our program is to be able to help high-risk youth. And somebody said, well, what's a high-risk youth? Well, it could be a child that may be having some problems in school, maybe a young person, I shouldn't say child, but maybe a young person that just need additional resources, maybe a mentor, being able to find ways. Maybe there might be in the family that maybe need some help. I don't like using the word dysfunctional. I don't like using the word dysfunctional because society has used the word dysfunctional as if we are not a healthy community. So I don't like using that word. Well, let's say just need additional resources. So let's look at the churches, for example. I mentioned earlier about the uniforms. Maybe like the pastor, the minister, or the elder, or even the mother in the church may know we could be able to ask for resources. Maybe there might be a family may not be using uniforms. So you could take those uniforms, call the We Can office or call a local school and say, look, I have some resources available. So that's one way we could do that. The churches, in the local churches, not only do we talk about the name or talk about values and ethics about how we get along with one another, but also you can also do a drive and find out what are the needs in your neighborhood, in your block, and then find what those needs are and then provide those services. Maybe a business might be available. Maybe you see young men and young girls walking down the street. Maybe you might provide a lunch or provide some services. So the services that you have. We could come together and as a healthy community, look at the services that we have and say, this is what I have available. So that's one way we can make that happen. We can also adopt a school. Well, what do I mean by adopt a school? Adopt a school, actually meet with the principal, meet with the LSC, the local PTA, and then actually find out what do they need and how can we be able to work together. Then we're looking at the issues of violence in our community. I read in the paper just today that there was over 2,000 shootings in this past year and over 460 people died. And we're talking about, and some of those shootings happened in our neighborhood, in the Woodlawn neighborhood. Some of the people died in our neighborhood. We have to stop that. But what can we do? We don't have a magic bullet to say if you do this, it's going to work. It takes all of us to make it work. With our young people, guess what we have to do? We have to talk to them. We have to talk to our young people. We have to talk to them about the definition of violence. We have to talk to them about how to deal with conflict resolution, how to be able to communicate with one another. We have to show them that there's positive ways in which to deal with conflict. So those are some of the things that we have to do. What are some other things can we do? Guess what? Not only do you talk about communication, how to deal with conflict resolutions, maybe we should have peace circles in our schools, peace circles in your home. You know, because everything starts at home. It's how we communicate with one another. It's how we get along with one another. It's looking at having positive relationships with one another. So we start with that. When you're in the school, for example, remember last week I talked about the importance of understanding resources in your school. Well, parents, business leader, church member, get involved in your local neighborhood school. Because you know what? We are the ones that's responsible for our young people. We can teach them and show them the way. That's one way we can do. Also, work with your local police department. Find out what the police department is, what they're doing, and how you can all work together so we could be all together as one. Let's not let somebody break the change. Let's keep our change together. Let's be able to show love. Let's be able to identify the resources that are necessary in our community. A healthy community, a healthy village. It starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with your family. It starts with the block to block, heart to heart, neighbor to neighbor. When you see our young people out there, talk to them. Find out how they're feeling. Find out what they want. Find out what their needs are. I know there's a park district in our neighborhood. There's their local Ys, their local organizations, their churches. There's nothing that we cannot do together if we put our mind together. And of course, I said my name is Reverend Catherine Jackson, and you know I believe in prayer. You know I'm an organizer. And I believe in organizing. I believe in assessing our community and finding where our skills are. Assessing our community and finding where our weak links may be. And then being able to go out in our community and say, how can we be able to work together and make things happen? Guess what? Even though school is starting September the 6th, we need to start establishing tutoring programs for our young people. Start from the elementary all the way to middle school to high school. We need to be able to make sure that the schools have what they need. We need to be able to make sure that the families understand that we're here to work together. And families, to the moms, to the fathers at home, all that, we need to find ways. What can we do to support you? If there is a local PTA or LSC in your school, in your neighborhood, or if there's not one, if there is one, let's work with them and make sure that works together. Find out in your local, in your neighborhood, who's your alderman, who's your commissioner may be. Find out, work with the not only with the city, work with the county, and then identify what neighborhoods that have the resources that's there. And if it's missing, let's identify that. I do believe this though, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all. Maybe what needs to happen in one block, you might need to do something different. But guess what? When we talk about working through our community, we have to work together. When we're talking about raising our young people, yes, I'm a parent, but you know what? I need our police officer. I need our firemen. I need I need a business community. I need our local organizations. And then we'll be able to pull those resources together. It's like making gumbo. You know, it takes a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but we can make it happen. A healthy community. A healthy community starts with you. A healthy community be able to identify, what's working and what's working and what is not working. So remember, let's look at, again, our organization, the Woodlawn Restorative Justice. Call us at 773-5 536-9317. I can't tell you that we have all the answers, but I can tell you this, that we can work together. We can work together to make a difference in our community. And we can work together to help our young people. Help our young people to understand that you can be anything that you want to be. Help our young people to understand that education is important. Help our young people to understand that we're there because we care about them. Help our young people, our community, to understand that not only can they be successful, go to school, get a trade in the school, get your college education, but the young people that we're working with, we're showing them that we're making a difference in their lives. We're providing them with resources. Yes, we are. We're providing them with resources. Yes, we are. We're providing them with a sense of hope, a sense of encouragement, a sense of saying, hey, yes, you can. You can make a difference, because we do believe we can make a difference. And as a result of our leaders and of our mentors that we have in our program, that's the reason why we can make a difference. That's the reason why we're here today. We're here today because we believe. We believe in our young people. We believe in our school. We believe in our neighborhoods. A healthy community starts with us. Oh, there's something else I'd like to be able to share with you. As we move along with our school, and I mentioned to you about the children program, you can call Restorative Justice, that we have resources available. There's nothing that we can't do together. We just keep working together. I would just also like to talk to you about the idea that when we're working with our young people, that we have been able to identify places where we have the employment agency, even for those that are looking for work. We have the ability to be able to help them with resumes. Even our kids that are already in high school, they need help, and we need you. So why don't you give us a call? Give us a call and let us know the services that you have available. Give us a call and let us know the time that you have available to be able to help our young people with tutoring, to be able to help our young people that may have struggle with some social issues within their lives. We need you. We can make a difference. Our community needs all of us to make a difference. And remember that tomorrow at the Woodlawn in our neighborhood, we have the Play Streets. That's on Tuesday, August the 30th, from 2 to 7 o'clock p.m. Well, I want to make sure you come out. Bring your family out. Come out and meet our neighbors, meet our friends, meet our director. That's important. And then also to my family, to my friends, and to the business owners in our community, and to the churches. Let's continue to work together like we have in the past. Let's continue to find ways to say, what can I do to make a difference in our community? How can we help our young people? How can we work with the Woodlawn Restorative Justice? How can we work with WeCan and work with our local churches? There are so many ways in which we can make that happen. Work at your local school. Find out what the needs are in your school. Find out what the needs are in your neighborhood. A healthy community starts with you. A healthy community starts with me. And a healthy community starts with our family, because I know that we can make a difference in our world. And listen, there's another thing I like to be able to say that I remember last week I talked about, was that if you need help, if you need some resources, give us a call. Because it's not just tomorrow that we're out here to working together. Our kids are in school now, or in alternative schools. They're going to need help every day. So we got to work together. Work together to make a difference. And then with the county, there are resources. With the city, there are resources. Our local neighborhood centers, our local organization or park districts, we can make a difference and make that happen. If anyone would like to give a call, again, please give us a call at the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub at 773-536-9317 and begin to be a part of that. As we begin what I'd like for us to be able to do is also work. We have to also provide some positive positive feedback, and let our media know, let the paper know when there's something good that's happening in our Woodlawn community. We gotta let people know that we're doing good things. When you know that things are happening with our young people, give them a shout out. Let them know that things are happening because it's so important. And also, we have to influence our lawmakers. Influence them. Let them know what our services that we may need. And young people, I know last week when I was talking to some of you, you were talking about that. You just need some help for us to be able to understand. We need to be able to understand exactly how you're feeling, and we do care. That's what we call we can. Restorative Justice, call us at 773-536-9317. And then our next time when we get together, we're going to be talking to some police officers. We're going to be talking to some local organizations about the things that we're doing in the community, because they're all positive things. Everything that's happening in our Woodlawn neighborhood, I am proud. I'm proud to be a part of the Woodlawn neighborhood. I'm proud of the work that We Can is doing. I'm proud of the work that Restorative Justice is doing. And so many of you in our neighborhood that's making a difference. And now, you know what? We can stop the violence. Yes, we can. You can stop the violence. We got to be open. We have to make sure that we're there with our young people over and over again, and to always open our lines of communication. We got to be a team player. We got to be able to make sure that you know, and I know that I know, and let those young people know that it's all right. But it takes a village. It takes a village, and still we're still going to make it happen because it's important. Now, again, I'd like to be able to let you know again, Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub at 773-536-9317. Please remember, that's the number to call. Our email address is wrjhub@gmail.com. wrjhub@gmail.com. Please give us a call and know that we do care. We are continue to work together to make our community a better place to live. And in our future too, we're planning on continue to develop some leadership development programs for our young people. We're planning to look at ways in which we could do some conflict resolution, some peace circles. We're looking at being able to take our program and put it into the schools so that we could be able to work together closely with the schools and closer with our neighborhoods. So parents continue to work with us because we care about you. Again, I thank you so much for tuning in, and please remember to call the Woodlawn Restorative Justice Hub at 773-536-9317. God bless you.